I've got some paint viscosity data here, and I'm going to use this to illustrate the IMR chart, so individual moving range chart. And again, that's under the Stat tab, Control. We want this time, I want variable charts for subgroups, or I can do for individuals. Now, all right, no, I don't want that one. I want variable charts for individuals, IMR. Now I could get an individual chart by itself and a moving range chart by itself, but typically we do both of them in the one go. So IMR. All right, now this time my variable is what? We're measuring viscosity. And notice here for batch number 1 there's only one viscosity reading, and same thing for batch 2, etc., which is why this is called an individuals chart. So alright, viscosity, and I go to IMR options. Everything looks good there, and we're going to use the average moving range, and generally speaking you would use a moving range of 2. But you could change this if you like. In the example in your notes, we did use a moving range of 2. So we're looking at the range of, if I come down here, I'd look at the range between batches 1 and 2, and then we would look at the range between batches 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, etc., etc. But you know, you could look at the range between batches 1 and 4, and then go between 4 and 8, or something like that. Alright, say OK to all of that. So this is all the default stuff, and we have an issue here at subgroup number 4. So what we need to do is to ignore data point number 4, subgroup 4, and see what that does with our calculations. So I'm going to shrink that down, and I'm going to come back in here, and when I generate the charts, under the Estimate tab, I'm going to omit row number 4. And everything else should be the same. And by omitting subgroup number 4, our control limits have just gotten tighter, which is good. And it tells us down here that the limits and everything were calculated with only, what have we got? We had 20, so we're only using 19 subgroups in order to calculate the control limits and the center line. Everything else is in control. We ignore this guy because typically you would just remove this one from your data set, but you know, unless I tell Minitab otherwise, this point is still going to show. Alright, so that's all good. And then we had in the example another 15 batches. I think I missed something here. I've only got 34. I'm supposed to have 35. Anyway, what odds? I don't know where it is. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so I've got an additional 14 batches, so I could take them and copy them over to here. Stick them on. So now I've got up to batches 34. And now if I come back in and generate this again, alright, it's going to take all the data I got in the viscosity column, which this time rather than there being 20 subgroups, there will be 34. And under my IMR options, under my estimate, I would want to use the control limits from the previous chart, ignoring row number 4. So I'm going to ignore row number 4, and I'm also going to ignore subgroups 21 to 34. Alright, we say OK to that. And now we have a look at this. So the control charts are based on 19 subgroups. The first 20, well, ignoring subgroup number 4. The rest of this is all new data, and there is an issue right here at subgroup number 28. And it also looks like there has been a shift in the process from subgroup roughly 24, 25, some about 25 onwards, my means are consistently above the average of 33.9. So that is telling me basically that my process has shifted upwards, and we would definitely want to go and investigate and see what went on here.